Hello, everybody. Okay. Um, so today I will give you review for the common mistake you committed in task 3 of the assignment, and hopefully, based on my uh, correct, you can improve your work because you have another chance. If I remember correctly, you have another chance to submit an improved report, um, and you should address all of my comment here. So touchy generally is similar, okay, than the other task, based on my opinion. It's the more natural. Okay, you give the technical architecture of your approach. Okay, so the idea here is that there are some, but basically your group commit some mistakes based on your misunderstanding of the requirement. Okay, so for that, here there are some suggestions for you. In task 3.1, you should have the symbol, okay, a sketch, a symbol of a zero architecture of the whole system. You can choose either layer architecture, MVC, or microservices. Okay, it's up to your opinion, your decision. But should give should you should give the overall architecture. Then the next one is you it's more important that not only on this report but in other reports, whenever you submit whenever you submit whenever you submit a document, a report, when you give the picture, you should give together a description, a paragraph explaining what is going on the picture, not only giving the picture alone. I also remind you on this one on task 2. Okay, and you should deprive the data storage. Okay, because you have data, so you should explain what is technique you intend to use for storing data. Either use database, either you NoSQL, or relational database whatsoever, or even though using the CSV, you should give the reason why, technology together with the reason, and the API management. Okay, okay, so explain about more detail about API in the sense that other persons, when other audience read in your report, they can understand how to use your API. This is the problem. Okay. Now for the task 3.2, the thing you should think together is about the component different two classes. Okay, a component, a set of related class generally support for one purpose, and the component is had the input and output. Okay, the provided and the service provided by the component. Okay, so they the link to architectural design guide, so you can follow this guidelines provided by Mr. Tuấn for another better for better understanding of the architectural assignment. And also this guidelines also give you the notation. Okay, the notation you should follow, because if you adopt the UML approach, okay, so you should follow the um, syntax, the notation, and the meaning of each uh, item on your diagram. For example, a component is a class together with the manifestation. It has the provided and required interface. You can read more about the component guidelines in this document. Okay, so based on that, okay, for example here, there are many things to do. Okay, so you use the microservice. Okay, the microservice, it should show the connection between the service, who is the client of this service, who will call this service, the approach of microservice like that. Okay, you should show, okay, there are multiple service. Okay, you should explain what are the service. Okay, just explain why we have the load balancer here. Okay, and what are they? They are service or they are component. Should explain more. Okay, in the database, what should be stored here? Okay, you cannot say simply database like this. Okay, there may be different distributed database, and which each of it search for a certain purpose. You should make it clear. Okay, the presentation strategy, the presentation, you should give the purpose is give necessary information to the user. Okay, so you should explain in more detail about how useful, what information. Okay, information based on your UI. Okay, what the UI give prepare for the user. For the storage, okay, you discuss about for example, for presentation, you also need to discuss the technology you intend to use for this layer. Okay, and similarly for data storage, okay, you must also explain why. Okay, what is the motivation for the chosen technology. Okay, and you mentioned about Redis. Okay, what is it? What is the role of it? Okay, and at the same time you use MySQL and MongoDB. You must explain why. It's a very natural question. You use two different kinds of database in your system, and what is the reason behind. Okay, and using the distributed data system. Okay, so you will explain more what does this mean, why the database distributed, and in what manner. Okay, in which situation the distributed will be used, and more advantage. Okay, you must explain more about that. Okay, for the API, okay, it's very good that you have some knowledge about Kubernetes and Docker. Okay, I think that's okay for the API management. Here, look at that. The first few line is quite complicated and rather messy. Okay, now you have the good notation for required and provided service. It's good, but this is too complicated because you draw the component diagrams for the whole system, not for that assignment. Okay. Okay, so the components are the real classes, and there are some class that not necessary to display, for example, employee controller, something like this. Okay, and the interface. Okay, the interface. Uh, you read more about notation used on a component to improve your interface. Okay, so look at this. Um, it's the hopeless to track your layer. Okay, try to organize your material in more in clearer manner. Okay, and also um, also you um, there are some requirement about the description of presentation, data storage, and API. Okay, you given here, but without any explanation. Okay, there is a empty layer here. There are some very clear. Okay, very straightforward. Okay, straightforward. This is quite straightforward. The obvious mistake that can be easily pointed out in your work. Okay, try to address it. Okay, here you cannot just given a rectangle and many things inside rectangle like this. You should explain what is the meaning of the layer. So how can I link the user interface layer with the rectangle here? Okay, I don't know. I really don't know. I can guess that. Okay, this may be the interface layer or the web browser. I don't know. Okay, so okay, so in each layer you will be given, okay, you will be given the components in the layer, not a function like this. Okay, and here this is entity classes. Okay, this is not component. You read about the guidelines about component to decide it. Okay, this should be the database or the backend API. Okay, it's not the entity class like it. Okay. Okay, so the requirement of this task is to discuss about the strategy, the approach, not to the button or the icon. Okay, like this, like your presentation. Okay. Okay, now this is the similar thing. Okay. You must explain about the meaning. Explain the meaning between the interaction. Okay. The 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 interaction of each situation. Okay, of each layer. Okay, the introduction, the discussion, the explanation. Okay, and you cannot say managing data like that. Okay, for each layer it should be the component. The notation is totally wrong. Okay. Okay. Here you should give a mockup or something like that. Okay. You only use paragraph. How can you decry? Okay. Decry the motivation on and the rationale of the presentation. Okay. Okay, so there another mistake for this diagram. So basically, each component, okay, they should have, at least required and provided. Okay, so okay, so in this one, the vehicle is okay. Sorry, sometime the here. Okay, so how could, okay, so you see the notation here wrong. Okay, should only provide one interface to access it rather than giving two box like this. Okay, and similarly, descriptions for the classes are required. This is a common mistake. Okay, this should be together with the diagram. Here, you should find a way to combine all of the all of the stuff here into a single component diagram. Okay, single diagram, and this is the connection between the diagram rather than draw the interaction between class in terms of function. It's necessary. Okay, you should not given the interaction between the component. What is the what is the provided and the required for each component, and how are they connected together. The web browser is not in your system. Web browser is something you are using for the for when user, okay, try to access to your system. So they are not representation. Okay, the web browser not representation. This must be your web interface rather than web browser. Okay. Okay, I think that you need more detail about the presentation layer. Okay, it's then much about the role of Golan and HTML. HTML, you don't use HTML to design. Okay, you must use a tool and should have more detail. Okay, should have more detail. Okay. And here there are two layers, and you must, I think that you need to explain more clearly about that. Okay, user services and business logic. What are they? Okay, what the general description of them. Okay, and what difference between them? And database, you need to explain more. Okay, um, ABI, you have in database. You cannot say things like this. Okay, you must say your decision, your strategy of using database. Okay, okay. The plus one is you talk about in API. Okay, you the difference on API, the way you choose it is good. And in API, why you mention about MongoDB here? Okay, MongoDB is not API. I don't think so. And you must mention MongoDB here. Okay. Okay. The plus bonded for the plus bond for this group is the way you use color. Okay, it look looks nice, but you must but there are too many layer, and something I really do not understand domain layer and infrastructure layer. Okay, so must give the explanation on that. Okay, what are they? Okay, uh, RESTful API architecture and OOB. they are not they are not components. Okay, you read about the notation of component and explain it again. Okay, the you read about the guideline how to um, how to give the name for the interface. Okay, for the interface of the component. Okay, the name uh, either required or provided must be given correctly. Okay, so the common mistake here is that it lie on the common mistake lie on the lack of description. The diagram may be too complicated. Okay, and you must defend your decision. You must explain your decision why you choose such a technology or something like this. Okay, so well, that's the all of my feedback for your task tree. I hope that it can help you to improve your work. Okay, so that's all. Thank you.